especially after a really good weekend of college football. We were fortunate to basically come out with a victory against Alcorn State University, a very competitive program that's also a championship program. We've been fortunate here in recent contests against them to be very successful, and this past Saturday was definitely another one for us. So, we're pleased with the way that we were able to score points on big plays, but then also defensively be able to nullify their running game as well as their them being able to score points as well. And then in the kicking game, I thought we did an exceptional job also. The only thing I think we need to continue to work on, which has been kind of a thorn in our side for the last 3 or 4 weeks, has been the penalties. So that's something that's the focus of our staff, as well as all of the other things that are on film that are not to our liking. So we're going to continue to work on that, continue to work to get better, and continue to develop into what we would like to be here towards the end of the season.
Turned them over 7 times. Just talk about the performance of the defense.
Well, I mean, our defense is outstanding, and I think it starts with, our defensive staff and our defensive coordinator, Coach Everett Todd, and Terrence Graves, and Brian Ware, and Quentin Burrell. They just do an exceptional job of teaching and relating things to our young people so that they can be in the right spots. But then also I think that the players do a really good job of trusting our coaches and doing what's asked of them. So it's another one of those days where they were able to create turnovers, and they're even scoring points. So anytime you're able to really be dominant in different ways, I think it gives you a chance to be a very, very dominant football team.
You ever been part of a 7 turnover performance? That's pretty impressive.
Yeah, I've been part of one before. I can't remember when it happened, but I've been part of a situation like that before, yes.
Talk about the offense. Seemed like, you guys right out of the gate starting fast.
Yeah, I think offensively we're doing a really exceptional job of making big plays. Kincaid is throwing the ball, all over the place, and Martez is running the ball extremely well, which speaks volumes about our coaching staff on that side of the ball. The thing I think that we have to do a much better job of, I'm not very, very pleased with us, just the routine plays. And there are so many times where we get behind the chains, and fortunately we're able to make a big play to get us out of it. But we've got to do a much better job of the just routine plays, the 2nd and 8 plays, the 3rd and 2 plays, the 1st and 10 plays, which allows you to stay ahead of the change. I think we've been successful because of the big play, and that has a lot to do with our coaches and also the players that's making those plays. But we have to do a much better job at those routine plays.
Talk about homecoming. Great atmosphere expected here. Obviously, probably a lot of distractions for the kids.
Absolutely.
And you're playing a team that hasn't been very good. How do you keep them focused all week?
Well, our focus is always, how we play and how we practice. So we've been through this before. We've experienced, playing homecoming in a homecoming type game atmosphere here at our stadium. It's definitely going to be a packed house. There's going to be standing room only. There's going to be people all over the place. But at the end of the day, they're here for a show, and we're the show, and we have to make sure that we do everything in our power throughout the week in order to be prepared on Saturday to give them what they pay for. So our kids know that, they understand that, and then we have such a veteran group and veteran coaching staff that they do an exceptional job of keeping their heads where they're supposed to be.
What do we know about Texas Southern?
Well, Texas Southern is they're a well-coached ball club. Their coach has been all over. He's played at Notre Dame, coached at Notre Dame, coached in the SEC at LSU. So it's not like he's not knowledgeable, and it's not like he doesn't know what he's doing. So they have a really good staff. Here or there, you take a play away here or there, you're talking about a different record. And same thing applies, for any team. So I think sometimes, when you look at the team's record, you can kind of get yourself in a bind and get yourself into trouble. But one thing about us, we always respect every opponent. We believe in respecting those opponents because they're going to come and play, and they're going to be physical because you are the champion. So we have to be ready to play.
Mullins went down for last Saturday. How's he doing? Is he expected to play this weekend?
He's doing well. He's doing okay. Just one of those little deals, you know, bruise type deal, but he'll be ready to go, as is another number of other guys also.
Yeah, I saw where DeAndre stepped in for Will at the center spot.
Mm-hmm.
How's Will doing? But first off, I guess just kind of assess how DeAndre did with, you know, him stepping into that role.
Well, you know, we've been playing both of them all year long, you know, and he's doing a really good job for us. I mean, we've lost, you know, 3 offensive linemen at the beginning of the season, and so we've been forced to play with our 4 starters on offense. So for us to be able to move the ball like we are thus far without those guys in place, you know, and basically all of them out for the season, I mean, that speaks volumes for our recruiting and our depth. You know, so it's good to have kids like that. They're young kids, so they'll just continue to get better, and it'll definitely affect us in a positive way in the future because it gives us more depth throughout the years to come.
Kincaid, Offensive Player of the Week. Just talk about his performance.
Well, Devontae he's a talented guy. I mean, he's coached well, but the thing that he has is he has the ability to make things happen when everything breaks down, you know, because there's times when, and you can see it out there where, you know, either we don't have enough people blocked when they're bringing pressure or we miss a block. But he has the unique ability of getting out of all those situations and then making a big play, either with his arm or with his legs. He is a tremendous talent. He can run the football effectively. He can throw the football effectively, and he gets us in and out of the right plays. He's a pleasure to coach. He really is.
And then Mark, nice having that leg when you don't finish those drives.
Yeah, Mark is definitely one of those guys that I would call Mr. Automatic. And you know, anytime we cross the 50-yard line, you know, my focus always goes to the 30-yard line because if we can cross the 30, then he's pretty much automatic when you touch the 30-yard line, and that's been the case all season long. I think he maybe has missed 1 field goal all year long, which you know, speaks volumes about his ability. You know, so it's good that we have, you know, 3 kickers, which creates the competition, and I think that competition has made Mark, you know, that much more of a dangerous threat, you know, to score points, you know, for us this particular season.
And when Brian told us who the Defensive Player of the Week was, we were all kind of, he said, well, we got defense too, and we were all like, could have been like so many guys. But Darius was everywhere, 14 tackles on Saturday.
Yeah, Darius is just a pleasure to coach. He's what you want in a program. He's a leader. He's vocal. He's physical. He's fast. He's intelligent. He brings the energy. He's just a pleasure to coach. And you know, we knew Darius was going to be a great player from the first day we recruited him. We went over and did a home visit with him. I mean, it was obvious that he's going to be a great player. And I think a lot of times, you know, guys kind of are overlooked because of their height, you know. But this kid's heart is unbelievable, and the way he can play the game is unbelievable.
2 championship teams facing off against each other this past weekend. It was the matchup that's, you know, been predicted to happen again for the SWAC championship. The manner in which you guys won the game against Alcorn State, do you think the team wanted to maybe send a message to the people maybe outside this building and outside of the team locker room?
Well, we don't really focus on sending a message to anyone we play outside. We just focus on playing the team that we're playing and sending a message to the team we play. It's not about anybody else. I mean, at the end of the day, you know, I thought our defense played well. They created turnovers, but there may be a couple of those turnovers which, you know, has something to do with that nose guard in there that's very active and very physical, that can force some of those snaps to go haywire. But you know, we're not to the point where we know that they didn't play their best, you know, and a lot of it had to do with us, but some of it had to do with them as well. So we look at things, we tend to look at things soberly, but we are impressed with, you know, the way we were able to play on both sides of the ball.
I don't want to say scare is not the right word, but does that bother you a little bit that they didn't play their best and it's somebody you may see again?
No.
Not at all?
No.
Did Herschel ask you for a couple snaps?
No, he didn't have to ask me. I asked him. And, I mean, he's got one of the strongest handshakes in America. Everybody talks about Adrian Peterson's handshake, but that handshake was unbelievable. I was surprised to see him here, but was glad to see him here. But I think that speaks volumes about Grambling State University. I think it also speaks about how hot this ticket is now, and everyone should come out. I mean, when you got people flying in from big name people flying in to see the Grambling Tigers play and to see our show, then everyone should be there. And this is the last opportunity this season in this stadium, on this field, with this jumbo screen to see us. So everyone needs to come out and watch it because it's a hell of a show, and it's one of those type deals where every time your heart beats, there's something exciting going on because you're dealing with an up-tempo style offense that has playmakers all over the place. You have a physical defense that's fast, big, and can make plays. And then you have a band at halftime that also makes plays for 20 minutes. So it's definitely something to see. And for the price of admission, everyone should be there.
Does Herschel have any ties to the Grambling program, or he just wanted to come see you guys play?
I think he just wanted to come see us play. He's heard about it. So, I think a lot of others are hearing about it as well. This is an exciting brand of football, and anytime you got people like that come to see you play, it's really refreshing for everyone.
Coach,
did you bring him into the locker room? Did he talk to the guys before, during, or after the game?
I don't know if he spoke to them after the game, but he got here while the kids were on the field. So I think he maybe have shook a couple hands, like that. But other than that, I don't think he spoke to them in the locker room. No.
Coach, this weekend was kind of a moving day in the rankings. I think it was 4, 5, and 6 all stumbled. I think as well as 11 and 12. I know you guys came into the game 17th. Talk about the potential moving up in the rankings.
Well, the potential to move up in the ranks. It's for the sports writers. It's okay. My focus is always on my team and making sure their head is where it's supposed to be and making sure they perform where they're supposed to be. So, it's great. We appreciate it. It's good for recruiting. But at the end of the day, we're just focused on Texas Southern right now and making sure that we play the right way. I think we have to always respect our opponent. I've been in that situation before where I've had a little wrestling match with playing around with my little sister, and she catch me in the wrong place while I'm not looking, and then she wins. So that's just the way it is. It's a really good football team. Even though they haven't won a football game, they're going to be ready to play, and they're going to be aggressive, and they're going to be well coached, and they're going to have a plan. And we have to make sure that our players are ready to play and ready to deliver the plan that we put in place.
Thank you, Coach.
Thank y'all so much for your time. Coach Kendrick Nard,